Now, I've seen too many people make mistakes when it comes to setting up their LLC or business. It can lead to penalties or even lawsuits that leave your personal assets exposed down the line. So be sure to watch this all the way through and make sure to avoid these by any means necessary. So stay tuned. When I first started my business, I was basically just winging it. I didn't even have an LLC or understand exactly what that was. As I continue to grow and learn more through business, I've realized just how important it can be and why some of these mistakes can cost you everything. So let's just jump straight into mistake number one. Now, the first one's going to be believing your LLC offers you unlimited protection. Now, this is a huge mistake, okay? Your LLC offers protections, but they aren't unlimited. You got to understand something called piercing the corporate veil, as they call it. Now, this is a term that lawyers like to use, but the idea is this, right? When you're mixing your business and your personal expenses, right, you have now pierced the corporate veil. And what that means is they're going to look at it as your business and you personally are one. Okay, you're one and the same. Because you haven't kept them separate, then they should just treat it as just one person, just treat it as everything is just you, right? And in that case, they can now sue you for your house, your car, whatever the case may be, obviously depending on what state you are, right? But they can kind of sue you for your personal assets. Now, in this case, I always recommend that you should have a business bank account that's completely separate from your personal accounts, okay? Now, I recommend one company I use is Novo Bank. They make it really easy. They're an online bank. I'll link to them down below. They're a partner that I use, and they're great for me. I typically use them to be able to receive payments. I don't like sending payments directly to my main bank account, so I send it to this Novo Bank, and I kind of use it as a hub where then I make transfers in and out of that account to my main bank account. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have a business bank account that you keep completely separate, and you don't ever use it for your personal expenses. So don't go taking your business bank account cards and using them to go get Chipotle when it's just unless you can turn it into some sort of a business expense and you know how to do that, then that's fine. But make sure that you're actually keeping receipts and you're documenting it and all that stuff, right? But you don't want to just do it just for no reason, right? Don't go put gas in your car with your business account card, or you going to the club and then you know what I'm saying? You're doing things that is for personal use, but maybe you ain't got no money in your personal card, or maybe you don't have your personal card with you. You're like, let me just run it through my business, right? Those are the things that you want to be careful with. Now, the next one's going to be assuming that your LLC is a business license. Okay, I've seen people make this mistake. Now, just because you have an LLC, that's a business structure, right? That's recognized by your state. You might have to jump through more hoops on other licenses that you might need to get depending on what your industry is, okay? I recommend that you actually do a Google search. You can search, your industry and then licenses needed, okay? You can search that up to see exactly what kind of licenses might be needed for you specifically. You can even go deeper and type in your industry and then licenses needed in whatever your state is, okay? So I would Google search those, and that will get you heading in the right direction in terms of what licenses or what other types of permits or whatever that you need to be able to do whatever your business is about. Now, on top of that, I would reach out to an attorney too in your area who's experienced in handling licenses for whatever your industry is, or at least make sure that you're going to, meetings where you're meeting with other business owners that are doing the same types of business that you are, okay? Just to make sure that you're not missing out on any of that stuff. Now, another mistake that people make is using their personal address when filing their paperwork, okay? Now, it becomes public record, so now anyone who searches up your business are going to be able to send mail or even pull up to your address, okay? That's why you always want to be careful. The issue that I found with it is I had done this in the past, and people would start sending mail to my family house that I had used at the time, right? And so, sometimes people might send returns. They might just search my company name and they're like, okay, this is where I guess I got to mail the return. Maybe they order something for me. They're like, I'm trying to return it. They had already planned to return with me, but I forgot to give them the address. This is way early on, right? And they would just ship it to the address they saw, right? And so now I'm getting calls about all these packages coming. I didn't know what was going on, okay? So I always recommend you have a virtual address, okay? Now, I'm going to link to one or two of the best ones down below. I recommend you use a virtual address just to increase the privacy, and it makes you look a lot more professional as well, okay? So that's definitely something that you want to check out. Another mistake is choosing a bad name. You want to make sure your corporate name doesn't actually, it doesn't scream, something negative. Whether you think it's negative or not, you don't want that to be portrayed. Your corporate name doesn't actually need to be what your actual business name is, okay? You want to make sure that your name is appropriate or general if you intend to get funding down the road, right? If you intend to get access to any types of credit, no banks are going to want to, for example, they're not going to want to work with Tommy's weed and CBD imports, okay? Now, even if I'm running this business in California or whatever the case may be, and it's perfectly legal in California, federally, because of where we are federally, banks are not going to want to get involved with that. That's going to lead to an automatic rejection even if your business would have otherwise gotten approved for the loan, okay? So you want to be careful that, you can make your business name something, or you can make your corporate name something, more generic, right? It could be literally Tommy's Imports. and then my actual store name is Tommy's Weed and CBD Imports, by example, right? But that's kind of what you want to have in mind. Another thing is not having corporate governance documents, okay? Now, this is especially important if you have partners. You know, if you're creating your business with other people, you want to make sure that all the roles are completely clear and everyone knows what they're doing. The reason why is because you don't want problems to come problems to really start rising down the road. At the beginning, it's all fun and games, but then you're going to start realizing that if you start making serious money, right? Let's say you're making $1 million a year. People are going to start looking around and seeing who's doing the work and who's not. How would you feel if you were doing 90% of the work and you had two other partners and all you guys were splitting it? Each of y'all was getting a third of the business, but you're the one doing all the work, right? That's why you want to make sure that everything that you guys are where the roles are in the business are made clear, right? Because you don't want those problems to come down the road. The agreement needs to be on things like, how the company split is, what each person is expected to do within the business, how the payouts will be structured, right? There's all these different things that you want to make sure that you answer, okay? Now, typically whenever you create an LLC, especially if you use those different websites, they will actually typically help you make those documents, if not do it for free. Now, I'm going to link to a free one down below. Keeping in mind that you still have to pay for your state's incorporation fees, right? Basically, every state charges a certain amount of money for you to be able to create an LLC. That goes straight to the government. Now, the link I'm going to put down below, they will not charge you anything on their end, but you might still pay the actual state fees that your government is charging, or your state or local government is going to charge. Now, if you don't have an LLC set up, get the virtual address first, then use that address when you register through the LLC company, okay? All those links will be in the description. Now, if you guys want to learn more about how you can go even further and set up your business phone and email for less than $20, check out this video that I'm going to link here, where it will actually show you how to go about doing that for less than $20 a month, okay? Other than that, guys, be sure to hit the subscribe button and let me know down below any other videos that you like to see going forward, okay? I appreciate y'all watching, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace.